And with the heat building up for the 26th of January elections, we have always been having a special guest in the studios right throughout the month of January from the 1st. And today for a special discussion, we have Dr. Rohan Subisinghe, Senior Specialist Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO. A very good evening and a warm welcome to you, sir.
Good evening.
And nice to have you on air with us on Rupavahini News. And talking about right away going into the discussion, just past the first decade of the new millennium, and the 2010 has just arrived, and the world has seen many a crisis going on around the world, a food crisis, energy, then to top it all up, we had a massive recession, and the recession is still on, and food security has become a major issue for all the world, all the countries around the world. And how is your organization able to tackle this situation in Sri Lanka?
Interesting question. The recession has been there for a 2 years now, and we had a very serious food crisis, particularly early last year, late 2 years back. And the Sri Lanka is sort of different with respect to its food scenario, and the Sri Lanka is not necessarily self-sustained or self-sufficient in food. We import food, and mainly what happened in Sri Lanka is that there was a crisis. I remember there was a crisis, and I remember that we import food that time from India as well as from Myanmar. There was a situation. There was special request by the president, and there were some food brought hurriedly to the country. But the crisis was because the way the food, there was a major drought throughout the world, and that affected the production. And also there was a lot of grains were used in other activities rather than for food, for fuel, various things. Therefore there was a scarcity of grains in the world, but that didn't quite affect Sri Lanka, and required grains were able to be brought by the government. Therefore there was no major situation.
Because we saw food riots breaking out around the world, because there were many riots around the world because of the shortage of food, because human beings, we need food to survive. But this did not affect Sri Lanka as such. We didn't see any food riots, no issue as such in Sri Lanka. How was your organization involved in that?
We had a major program on soaring food prices at that time, and we support countries and we assist countries to curb the situations. Sri Lanka is a small island at 20 million people, and we are basically sort of okay with food requirements. Absolutely there were no crisis or there were no riots because there was food available, and there was no problem of distribution, there was no problem of access. Therefore there were no riots. But again, in some countries, I remember even the Philippines, there were some food riots even that time. But I think the way the government handled the situation, and we as an organization, we assist countries by providing assistance, technical assistance, financial assistance, as well as advice on how to deal with, how to govern the food in the countries. That's how we support.
And basically talking about the post-war situation in the country, there must have definitely been a massive need right down in the north for food, and we definitely had to bridge that gap and supply them with the required resources down there. How was the supply, and how did you all do that, and how did you all go about it? Plus, how was the support that you got from the government as well as the president at that time?
That's interesting. Even about, I think if I remember correct, about a month before the war ended, President Mahinda Rajapaksa requested my Director General for assistance to improve the situation in the north. He said, we are at the verge of finishing the war. We need your help. So he wrote to the Director General, requesting to help to develop a program for improving food security and food production in the north, particularly in the north. Even he mentioned the Uttara Vasante, which is the program for the north. My Director General very positively responded, and we sent a team, and the team looked at the situation. We did an assessment, a needs assessment, and a fairly comprehensive document was produced. And we continue to support this program, and we see a tremendous opportunity for us improving food in the north, particularly agriculture, livestock, as well as fisheries. Those are the three main areas, and we will continue to support.
Before we wind up, just one last question. Talking about fisheries, since you touched on the topic, and I suppose President Rajapaksa has been greatly involved in the fisheries industry as being Minister of Fisheries previously. And talking about the fisheries industry in the north, now all these questions we are talking about the past and the present, and talking about the future. Definitely the north has a massive potential of developing fisheries industry. How do you see that the organization can get involved in this?
I remember Honorable Mahinda Rajapaksa, who was the Minister of Fisheries years back, and he used to come to Rome for our meetings on fisheries, and he used to say that we're talking about subsidies of fisheries, and I remember he was saying that over my dead body that Sri Lanka will reduce subsidies on fisheries. The opportunity for fisheries in the north is tremendous. The fisheries is one of the main income generating food producing sectors in the north, and Mahinda Chintana is giving due recognition to that sector. We can improve the fisheries in the coast, we can improve fish production in the tanks, we can improve the fish production in the ponds, we can produce fish of quality and also fish of value, so that either it can be used locally or even exported elsewhere. I think the tremendous potential for fisheries in the north.
So definitely we can expect a brighter future for Sri Lanka in the future concerning the fisheries industry in the north as well.
Definitely.
It's been a pleasure to have you on air, Doctor, and hope to meet you once again on air for a longer discussion, maybe an extended discussion on what we can do about the agriculture, the fisheries industry and all that in Sri Lanka. And viewers, it's time to take a short break. Be back with stories from around the world just in a moment.
Welcome back. Moving on to sports news. 42nd National Carom Championship Tournament matches are being held at Sri Lanka Carom Association headquarters in Colombo. 275 Carom players are participating in the tournament, which will be concluded on the 24th. 16 top players will be selected from these matches. They will play with 16 national level players in the final next week. England beat Hong Kong in the ICC Under-19 World Cup match by 9 wickets today. Hong Kong batting first were bowled out for 185 runs in 48.5 overs. Mr. Khan top scored with 65. D.A. Payne bowled best for England, claiming 3 for 24. England reached the winning target in 30.1 overs, losing 1 wicket. J.E. Wood scored unbeaten 70 and J.M. Wins top scored with 76 not out. Sri Lanka will meet Zimbabwe in their first match tomorrow. The Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation has made arrangements to bring a live telecast of the match over Channel I tomorrow from 11 a.m.
Well, that's it from Rupavahini News for tonight. More news coming your way tomorrow at 12 p.m. as well as the same time, so keep your sets tuned in to NTV.
වසරේ දැවැන්තම වෙළඳ ප්‍රදර්ශනය සහ සැලකිලිය සතුට විනෝදය දැනුම සමග ජනවාරි 15 සිටදා 7 තෙක් ත්‍රිකුණාමලය නගර සභා ක්‍රීඩාංගණයේ හා නිලාවැලි වෙරළ තීරයේ